Hey, guys, this is the RIOT Podcast.
Happy Monday. If you're listening on Monday, I shouldn't say the day because I don't want to make you feel bad if you're listening the next day or months later. Whenever you listen to it, that's perfectly fine.
All right. Well, oh, man, Nikki, look at this. Part of what's in the podcast today is that we do a little bragging on the great people of Australia.
Yeah.
And because they haven't had a community spread of COVID in a week. Mm-hmm. In New Zealand, they just had their first COVID infection in 2 months.
Really? So it's like how they must be having more, though, to continue the spread. It's just they weren't like, does that make sense? Like it doesn't just appear, does it? If they haven't had it for 2 months, you can't, unless someone got in somehow, because I'm not sure how they're traveling. In it still is, like if they have that shut down, but like how else does it get in?
I don't know. Like it's the call's coming from inside the house.
Like if it's not completely shut down, like maybe if it was a worker or someone who got in, like I guess when they say that, I'm like, well, where did it just come back from?
Where'd it go?
What are we doing here?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Understand.
So 2 months and then this guy?
I know. It's like, well, where did you get it from, sir?
Like, I've been looking doorknobs down at the community center.
It's like, where you been?
So other things to talk about, the Xbox Live price increase. Nikki, really the big one is Nikki has a very emotional moment about the Netflix price increase.
Well, I got an email and it came back. We talked about it last week, but now it doesn't affect you until you get the email.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was thinking last week I wasn't going to get the price increase. But
yeah, but it wasn't personal for you yet.
And then I got it, and that's it.
And now it's right there in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I totally got that.
I'm the first confirmed email case of the Netflix increase.
In the building.
In the building. And, where did I get it from?
Yeah. So I hope that you guys enjoy the podcast today.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy listening.
Nikki and I have worked just as hard on this one as we have all the other ones.
You guys wouldn't notice if we worked harder or less. It's all the same.
It seems to never matter.
We put in the same effort each time.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the podcast. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
To commemorate this momentous occasion, Nikki will now sing the Australian national anthem.
Well, you threw that on me. I don't know it. I don't know. Have we ever even heard it before?
Oh, Australia.
Are you making this up?
You're so great. Barrier reefs. Oh, no. Sharks up late.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Australia.
It's
so
beautiful.
Much fun.
It's beautiful.
Oh, Australia. You're the one.
Now we're done.
Okay.
That is, I don't believe, the official Australian song.
Well, it should be. Because they could add an 18th verse to the Australian national anthem about how they have gone one entire week with no new reported cases of the coronavirus.
So in the entire place?
Yeah, the thing about it is it's none reported.
You remember like when movies were like number one romantic comedy, but it was like fifth down. Mm-hmm. It's all about wording. So they just mean that there could be potentially cases, but no one's gone in to get the test to report it.
Could be. So they say that they have they're saying, okay, you know what? You're right. Let me specify here. No community transmission. The only cases they've had where it's popped up have been in quarantine. So meaning that you were already quarantined and then you had it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But like out there at the petrol pump or down getting the lollies at the Barbie.
Boy, I mean, again, your knowledge of Australia is just amazing.
Yep. They haven't had anything happening there.
Good.
So,
well, that's excellent.
Woo.
It is good.
It is good.
It is definitely good.
Oh, Australia.
No, we heard it the first time. I mean, is there more?
Let's see. I don't know. No, I mean,
is there more of the song?
Well,
do we have to?
Sure. I will tell you that Australia's health department's all mad because everybody was back at the beach this weekend, and they're like, "This is what happens.
This is what we're not supposed to be doing."
So, Nikki, if you want to see a bunch of pictures of revelry on Australian beaches. I have some photos that go along with that in this article. So if you're interested,
I'm going to throw it up. No, just teasing. On our shared screen, are you going to throw those up?
Here you go. Wait,
Doesn't a beach sound really nice? Just a vacation. Just going there.
I feel like some of this is questionable. Like there's some questionable fashion choices here. But
they're all just having fun.
But they're all out at the beach. It's good for them. Are they
not doing masks then? At that point?
Do you see any masks?
I don't see anyone at the beach wearing that.
Nope.
All right.
I don't think so.
Again, different places have different rules. And different suggestions.
And COVID spreads differently in different places in the world. So
you really can't say for one place and then compare it to the other. It's not fair.
Listen, Nikki, who are you for living in a COVID hotbed to tell them with no community cases of spread to say anything?
Never mind.
I was taking precautions. I got it anyway. So you know what? Let's just put our bikinis on and go to the beach.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do this. Might as well get some sun, right?
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
I don't like to admit it, but I think it's pretty much true. I collect movies.
Well, I think that would be nothing wrong with it, but that'd be a fitting statement.
It's just like, I don't like it, but I love it.
You enjoy the extras and the bonus content and the re-releases and the extra things to it.
I'm that guy. I'm the reason they're still out there. You're like, why do they even make these discs anymore? What is this?
He's keeping it afloat.
It's me. It's fine. Whatever. But Nikki, I always like to find other people that collect things so I can be like, well, I'm not as bad as that person.
So then you feel better about your own collection?
Yeah. So, for example, Beatrice Salt. She
sounds like a book character.
Doesn't she?
It's amazing.
Miss Salt.
Miss
Beatrice Salt.
I guess it's just a name we don't hear very often.
Yeah, she is. She's from the UK, I believe, and
it sounds like it with that name.
It does, doesn't it? She has over 600 My Little Ponies.
Oh, is that what she collects?
She has put about $30,000 into her My Little Pony collection.
We sure?
Yeah. Well, and here's the part that gets me is that she got her first one when she was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And when I see that, I'm like, oh, man, if there's some kid in your life, be careful what you give them.
Well, you just don't know if that's going to start them off.
That's going to be the one.
At 3, no one saw this coming.
Most assuredly, they did not.
Man. So it's so bad to where they said that she's used cash from her student loan and mortgage stuff to be able to purchase so many of these items.
So My Little Pony. Well, you just got to have it's My Little Pony.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to use that for My Little Pony collection.
Let me tell you what she's got to do right now. I'm going to help her out. She's got to get off the internet.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what happens? You start buying stuff, then pretty soon you belong to some forums, and they help you feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, how dare you judge? Well, I'll just tell you, like when you're taking your mortgage payment and buying your My Little Ponies, you probably got something that you need to address.
So it says she has almost 600, which I expected the number to be way more, but
me too. But apparently she's got some very rare My Little Ponies.
She has a pony room instead of an office. She calls it the pony room. She has 39 shelves full of My Little Pony stuff, from books to like toys and stuff.
Do you think she goes in that room and just like
that's probably her happy space?
She just goes in there and I'm like, I'm surrounded by ponies. I'm so happy.
She just must really like it.
Okay. So,
when you go and sit and enjoy a new 4K restoration.
Well, but that's what I wonder is, like, I do enjoy that. Sit down, watch this 4K movie, but I feel like that's slightly different than just sitting in a room full of pony idols.
No, see, okay, it's not quite like that, but it does get a little bit more explained when she said she used to get bullied a lot when she was at school, so she found it something she could focus on and enjoy, and that was all the My Little Pony stuff.
All right. So, well, there it is, Nikki.
That is so much money on those.
So much ponies.
Woo!
So much. So, this is where I'm headed. Just
Are
saying.
you?
Just watch me.
Do you think you spent more than her or less?
Just watch me.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So we saw it over the weekend. I knew that it was coming. I saw little pictures of it, but we finally got a look at the Godzilla versus King Kong
movie trailer.
Oh my gosh. Didn't it look awesome?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and then maybe a little some.
Well, the thing that got me was that I had seen photos of the trailer. There's that scene of them where they're fighting on an aircraft carrier. Shut up!
When I watched
I thought that was a cityscape, and when I saw that it was an aircraft carrier, I was like, this might be the best movie ever.
Because his spikes come out of the water and
my
then break
gosh.
apart one of the ship. When I was watching it towards the end, I watched it a couple of times. I thought, this looks amazing.
Good job, Nikki.
But then at the end of like the second or third time, I was like, looking back, take a step out of it and be like, what is this movie? It's amazing, but like, it's Kong and Godzilla.
Awesome.
It's awesome. Like, what is this?
It's what 2021 needs.
I know.
That's how I feel about it.
That's a good point.
That's what I need, is to just watch these two large monsters fight it out.
But when I saw like Kong punch Godzilla, I was like, yeah, okay, this works.
How about where he's like jumping and holding that thing to block the blast, and then he just hits Godzilla with it? And I was like, what? What?
So to me, I always get really confused because I never know, like, is it nice Godzilla? Is he bad? Are they both bad? Or is it bad for the greater good? Like, I just don't know what it is.
I don't know the answer to that.
So I'm curious what the take will be when you actually get more of the story.
It always depends on which movie you're watching, whether or not Godzilla is the bad guy.
Yeah.
The thing I always think is funny is, like, at the end of the first American Godzilla movie, you think he's dead, but then he's alive, and everybody's like, yeah, he's alive. And then I'm like, yeah. And on his little march to the sea, he just killed 3,000 people. I mean, he didn't mean to.
But he's a bigger guy.
But,
he doesn't know.
he stepped on I don't even know how many people, and that was just him going home.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe everybody was moved away, but there was a lot of destruction, property damage-wise.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. You forget that, and then when you notice, like, oh, he's in the city, like, that's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine the damage you could cause with, like, your car if you hit a building. Maybe not that big of a deal.
And
but
this is two giant monsters, but it still looks so good. And I don't want to go to the theater. No offense. I'm watching that at home. It looks good.
I we'll see when it gets here,
Mm-hmm.
but I could definitely see myself going to the theater to see that.
No, I was just like, I'm going to sit right here and watch it at home.
Though I'll say, I feel like it's a both for me. Like, I would like to see it in the theater, but I also see me grabbing HBO Max to watch it. Unless it's not very good, multiple times.
Just based on the two fighting and stuff, it doesn't need to be very good. Like, story-wise, it's fine. Just give me something fun to watch.
That being said, I watched, Godzilla King of Monsters a couple of times, and I felt like with that one, the more I watched it, it was like, eh.
Well, you're not supposed to. You're not really supposed to watch it.
Don't pay attention.
Yeah, you know better than that.
And go. I know. I just was watching and I was like, this is just not really.
Yeah, you're looking too much into it.
Yeah, and hey, this is somebody that I watch all the Godzilla movies. My running theory is always foreign films always seem so much better because you have to read the dialogue. When you hear it in your native language, you're like, what? What? So, but it's got all the characters. It's a direct sequel to all these other things in the Monsterverse. So, there was, I can't remember her name.
The Stranger Things person?
Her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the other guy.
And
then the one lady.
Yep. I saw her in there. Good.
So,
well, we're excited. I thought it looked really good. So if you thought the Kong Godzilla trailer was impressive, let us know. But
dude.
I'm ready for that in March. That sounds just right.
We could do it, what about
early?
What about tomorrow?
Doesn't that seem like a nice Valentine's Day movie?
It kind of does.
They could move it up.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, man. Nikki, if your dad was at the Capitol riots, would you call the FBI on him?
I have a feeling a lot of people who called on each other maybe have opposing views.
Think so?
So I think that's why a lot of people were telling on their parents. But no, I don't think I would.
I see that.
If he didn't do anything wrong, like if it was just a small thing.
If my dad had been at the Capitol riots, I wouldn't have called the police on. Like this guy, his name's Jackson Reffett. He saw that his dad was at the things.
Was
and
he inside or just at the
I don't know
outside?
the answer to that, but he reached out to the FBI to let him know who his dad was and the FBI. And he says that his dad told him traitors get shot. And so he's now in hiding.
Oh, from his dad?
Yeah, but the FBI came and got his dad.
Okay. See, it seems a bit like there's more to the story, and it seems like an unhealthy relationship.
He says he feels a little guilty about...
For turning him in?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, maybe this was his big chance.
You shouldn't have done it, and then you would have had something, like, on your dad for the rest of... like every holidays, throw that out there. Like, I didn't turn you in.
I don't know. Like, because then he might just be like, his dad finally decides he needs to get rid of you to make sure you never have any leverage. You don't think so?
I don't think so. Maybe more like he turns himself in because he's tired of it.
He just doesn't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a couple of stories of people turning in family members or friends that they knew. And it seemed like they didn't agree on stuff and they were mad at each other beforehand.
Yeah, so it's like they were having that Trump fight at home and then finally they had a chance to call the cops.
Something like that.
Oh, my gosh. Nikki, would you turn me in if I was at the Capitol riots?
Absolutely not.
Would you turn me in if I killed somebody?
I don't know this man. Now, that is a little bit much. And I told you I'd come, like, bail you out or... Yeah, I could be the call. Like, if you need help, I'll start the ball rolling. But don't make it be about that.
Okay.
Let's think of lesser things.
So you would...
Lesser charges.
Capitol riot, you're like, I'll keep it quiet. Capitol riot keeps it quiet.
Oh, no, that's the slogan.
Manslaughter gets... Like there's
something that rhymes with that. I don't want to be put in that position. So that one might be too much.
Murder gets...
There's something that rhymes with it. Guys, come up with something.
We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. It's fine.
So, no, I would not turn you in to the FBI for some of that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Nikki, I was at the Capitol riots.
You were not.
No, I wasn't. Are you kidding? Like, I hate crowds.
No, I don't do well with that. I just can't. So that's why, yeah, of course we would not.
No. Like, hey, you want to come down and stand in the cold and hold this flag? No.
We wouldn't do that for anything.
I'll watch it on TV, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
I will say sometimes you show...
I'm not going to go see Godzilla in the theater and watching it on TV. What makes you think I'm going to go walk with your flag? And forget about it.
If we did, someone would have to realize you might show up at the very beginning just for the photo. And then you're just like, well, I'll just go home now. I'm done.
Then the FBI is like, tell me about your mother.
And you're like, no, you don't understand. I can't stay around those things. I just left. I was just there for the picture.
They were right next to the Krispy Kreme.
So, I don't know if you would turn someone in or not.
Well, this guy turned his dad in. Busted.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the riot on Radio U.
If you guys aren't busy later, you're welcome to join us down at the Air Force recruiting office where Nikki is going to be signing in and swearing in, which we're pretty excited about.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm not prepared. I'm not ready.
No, well, after what I saw this weekend, I just went ahead and took the liberty of making the appointment.
Oh, did you sign? You said the Air Force?
Yeah.
They don't want me, so.
Sure they do.
They don't.
They're
and
gonna
I'm not
great.
offended either. It doesn't make me upset. Like, why doesn't anybody like me? I don't think I'm a right fit.
I think you're going to do great in there, Nikki. And so I don't know if you saw it, but they're allowing ponytails and braids now. So
do
when
I ever wear a ponytail and braids?
All the time.
All the time. Not really.
All the time. So this means that Nikki is finally ready to enter into the United States Air Force.
And I commend you if you are, but I think the moment for me to be able to make my way into that is not here. So
also, you can have bangs now.
Oh, I don't even have bangs. That's because curtain bangs came back for a while. So
Yeah.
that's why. You couldn't have bangs beforehand? You mean you had to slick your hair back?
If I understand it correctly, you pretty much had to put it in a bun.
Yes. Okay, I've seen some TikToks of people in there who would just show how to have that super tight bun.
And so what they were saying is that women were suffering from headaches and hair loss because of how tight the bun had to be.
So now they've relaxed some of that?
They've relaxed those standards a little bit. So, man, wear your bangs. Wear the ponytail. But if you're a man, don't wear a beard.
Are you still not allowed to have a beard?
Air Force still does not allow men to have beards.
They've not changed that?
No. So, and you know what? That's fine. Because let's face it, out here in civilian life, you grow a beard to feel like a man. But in the Air Force, you already know you are one.
So you don't need to?
You don't need that.
Maybe they'll change that down the road.
Yeah, maybe they will. I don't know.
Or maybe there's some reason why you really actually shouldn't have one. I don't know why, but maybe.
I can't remember what the limitation is, but that's like the Navy. When you swear in, like I think it's 6 feet or something like that, where, if you grow taller than 6 feet during your stay in the Navy, that's okay. But they won't, when you get a certain height, and they won't let you in the Navy. And that's just because
you don't fit.
You don't fit.
Yeah.
You don't fit in the boat.
Yeah, like you literally, it's not like, oh, I don't feel like I'm fitting in. It's like no, you really don't. You don't fit in some of that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm sure there are lots of things out there we don't know. I imagine, though, with Space Force, you just do what you want.
No, because you have to be well in enough to then get asked into Space Force. You don't just join Space Force, I don't think.
Well, we'll figure it out.
So I think you do have to meet some of the qualifications in order to then make your way into that.
Well, Nikki, your astrophysics degree, I think, would go a long way towards seeing you transfer over.
I didn't know if that would really be applicable to anything that I do in life, but I guess it will be.
You can be an astrogator for us.
The only way we're doing anything is if we are the radio people for any branch. That's it.
You could be Uhura, like on the Enterprise. You're running the board.
See, Ross said it. He just texted in the beard restrictions in the military, so your gas mask will seal properly against chemical weapons. I knew there was an actual real reason.
Well, there you go. So there's an actual real reason. No, it's the manly thing, too.
No, I think it's a real reason.
All right.
Well, thank you for texting. Anybody can text anytime, ever.
You don't know who Ross is.
877 RadioU.
You're taking the word of Ross over me, who you've known for years?
I guess I am. It sounds reasonable there.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, I'm doing some research here because of text messages from Jerome and Ross, and it looks like that thing about height restrictions in the Navy, which I would have sworn to you was true, is not true.
It's not?
No. At least according to what I'm reading, the height restrictions, you can't be over 80 inches tall, which is like 7 foot 8 inches or something like that.
So most people, you're just fine.
Depending, it may limit some of the things that you can do.
Sure.
But it will not disqualify you from serving. So, all right. Yep, just one more thing. And there's so many things that I'm spouting on this show that are wrong, you just wouldn't even believe it.
And they're not even paying attention that you corrected yourself or just going with what you said.
Yeah, no, I heard what I said. It's true.
I heard it. It's right. It must be true. He said it.
Yeah. So maybe it's to serve on a submarine. I can't remember. I swear that 6 foot thing is real.
I don't think you would fit in one. It really is something. Like, you got to be a certain height.
I feel like
you don't want to say.
Well, I can't. I can't say anymore. I don't know.
I mean, I remember touring a submarine once and just be like, "All right, well, this is something."
Wow,
it's very, very tiny.
So, see. This is from the UK. For submariners, minimum height is 151.5 centimeters. So, as a recruiter, our aim is to cram as many tall blokes as possible on boats.
Gotcha.
That's right there from the UK Navy right there. So whatever. To be assigned to a submarine, they need to be shorter than 6'1". Yes!
There it is.
Look, somebody on the internet said it, but they might not know either.
Maybe you guys got it from the same wrong.
You know what?
Wrong place.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to click out of this. I just want to say this, that if you have any questions about serving in the armed forces, I would encourage you to talk to a recruiter. They might sneak you in, and you may end up swearing in and not knowing it.
But don't ask us?
Don't ask us.
Well, maybe you could say ask us, but make sure we ask you guys to, just double check before we tell you anything.
I wouldn't take our word on anything.
Oh, I don't think we're that bad.
Even that seems a little sketchy.
And if we are wrong on it, we're at least wrong with a smile.
Well,
we'll figure it out eventually.
They sounded confident. Like when I was listening to them, I thought, wow, like they really know what they're talking about. No, we don't know. We know nothing.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, let's say somebody's birthday is 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you saw something you thought they might like.
Yeah.
An action figure.
Oh, yeah.
Of someone that they care deeply for.
Is it a John Wick action figure? Is that what you're looking at?
We're still dealing in the hypothetical
Okay.
here.
And is it for my birthday, which is in a few weeks?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Is that it?
Is it? Well,
so are you asking if I would want a action figure?
Would you?
Probably not.
What if I found you a John Wick plush that you could snuggle up with?
How do you make a plushie out of that?
Believe me, somebody somewhere has done it.
And again, I like John Wick, the character, and I like Keanu in that, but I don't know if I want any collectibles surrounding it. I just like to watch the movie.
Okay. Well, what if I got you a plushie of the movie poster?
There's no such thing. Stop it.
I'll see to it that it exists.
Okay, because if
I'll
that's
commission
the case, it feels Etsy, and it also feels like it's on sale because no one else bought it.
Well, maybe. Boy, when you start, I just put John Wick action figure into Amazon. Mm-hmm. There's some bizarre things.
You think they're like not licensed to just their people's take on it?
Probably. Let's see. How about John Wick plush? Come on. It doesn't exist. But I could get you a John Wick The Continental Ultra Soft Micro Fleece Blanket for bed.
Oh, that could be something.
Oh my gosh, I wish we hadn't talked about this on the air. It would be, I think it would have been hilarious if I would have gotten you a John Wick throw. And they
a blanket?
Yes.
And they absolutely have it.
Oh, they've got them.
I don't know how I would have felt if that was my birthday present. Maybe part of me would feel like that's amazing. And then the other part would be like, well, did we need another blanket?
Wait, keep looking in the box. Maybe there's a gift card in there. Maybe there's something else.
It's mixed in there. Maybe it's mixed in the blanket.
Keep going down there and there.
Well, I don't know what rabbit hole you're going down, but I'm not sure that's the right direction for my birthday.
Okay. Just a reminder, everybody, Nikki's birthday, February 17th.
19th.
Dang it. Who's the 17th then?
No one's.
Okay.
Nick's is the 18th.
Okay. 15th is my dad.
Yeah.
And then when's Michael's? The 21st?
Yeah, he's after ours.
Okay. So you're the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, better that I think it's the 17th than the 19th.
It's good that you're prepared early, and then we'll figure it all out when that week actually gets here.
It'll be exciting to go out to lunch for your birthday. We can all sit out.
We're not.
We can all
that.
sit outside in a circle after we go through the drive-through.
We did birthday lunches for a few people when it was warmer, and they were so nice. You could just sit outside. Everybody could still be far enough away and still be safe with it, but I feel like it's not the right time weather-wise for that. We could bring something in, but...
What if we ordered pizzas and we sat in the studio?
We could do that, too. That is an option.
All right. Well, everybody get ready to help Nikki celebrate her birthday alone, devoid of all attention and fun.
Unless I had a John Wick plushie, and you need to keep looking for that.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, Nikki, statistically, today, and this is coming from something we read a long time ago, so if you want the link to the article, I don't have it.
It's long gone, but you might have to search for it.
We had some guys whose books that we had read multiple times, Lou Schuler and Alan Cosgrove, and they said that basically by the time you hit the third Monday of the year, so like we have 3 weeks under our belt. Like, it is technically the fourth Monday, but let's be honest. Like,
3 full weeks.
We've done 3 full weeks that roughly 60% of us are off our New Year's resolutions.
I just don't feel like I saw, because everybody always posts about it, I don't feel like I saw this year a lot of people having any resolutions. It was just a getting through whatever by doing whatever you want to do.
I completely agree with you. I felt like, I don't know if I saw one.
Yeah, and normally, again, people are usually very vocal about it.
Right. I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know if I saw a single
resolution
that got posted.
Some people, it depends on your style. Some people, they say, be quiet about it. That way, if it doesn't work out, it's not like a big thing and you don't feel worse. But then on the other side, they say you are supposed to be somewhat vocal about it if you want to have help with staying strong with it. So it really just depends on your style, but normally you see a lot more people talk about their resolution.
Yeah, no. So whether you didn't have one and that's it, or if you had one and you were quiet, half of you were out.
I'm surprised even I would think it'd be more.
Yeah. And then they say it's something along the lines of like 90 or 95% are out by Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this is getting closer to the end.
Yeah, so you didn't have any this year?
No. I mean, they're always the same one. Let's be a better person, like health-wise, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Why does it even matter anymore?
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters at all. It's fine.
We're
Everything's fine.
Nikki, you're fine.
Everything's good.
No big deal.
So, no, I didn't really do one.
Okay. Well, just kind of checking in to let you know that if you feel the need to quit now,
no one's mad at you.
No one's going to be mad at you. Just quietly go back to whatever. I think I might go get an oatmeal cream pie while we're talking about it.
Well, it would be fitting for the story, wouldn't it?
It kind of would.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
I'm not going to lie. I'm slightly confused by this. It looks like Peacock, everybody's, not just me, everybody's favorite streaming service.
It's not.
Oh, it's huge. It's the big one.
I mean, I just don't hear much about it, and I don't, in our circle of social media, don't get a lot of people saying that they're still a part of it, but that's fine. What about Peacock?
Okay, so it looks like Peacock has just signed a deal so that they have become the exclusive home of the WWE network.
For wrestling?
For wrestling.
All right.
The part that I don't get is that I thought, don't you just subscribe to the WWE, like get their app or whatever?
I thought it was mostly free, like through their own thing.
Yeah, like if you sign up for, I think it's like $5 to $10 a month, like you get everything. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I thought was the big thing.
Well, maybe they're hoping that people who would not have the wrestling app, but who already had Peacock, would just watch through there. Okay. Like it's an addition there.
Or, did they kill their...
Probably not their app stuff. I doubt they would do that.
I don't know.
Is there wrestling fans? Does anybody know? Is this drama?
I don't know, but they say maybe. But this says Peacock pins WWE Network exclusives U.S. streaming rights.
Sure, okay.
So
maybe there's something with the fact that it's the U.S. streaming rights.
Yeah, could be. I'll just tell you that still not signing up for Peacock.
No. We tried. We tried for like one day. We tried back when it was launching, and it just wasn't the right lineup of shows for us.
You know what? It's too much stuff. I don't watch TV enough. Like, that's what I just don't watch TV enough. I know I like buying movies. Yeah. So the perception is that I always have my face in a TV, but
it's not true.
It's actually not true. And I got Domino's over the weekend and got 30 free days of Epics. And so I signed up for that, and it was just like, what?
There's nothing that I want to watch.
A lot
of it is all the same thing.
It's all the same.
And even if we're not saying it's the same exact show, but it's just the same style of everything. And
right.
For Peacock, it had a lot of reality television, or at least that's what they were really pushing in the beginning. And it didn't catch on with us.
I just feel like you could take whatever like the art is for each one of these shows. So like, here's our new show, The Blank. You could just swap the logos and it would seem like the same show to me.
It'd be like with Hulu and Netflix and everything.
Yeah. So, and then I tried to cancel it, but with the Domino's thing, you can't cancel it.
Oh, you just have the 30 days no matter what?
That's exactly right. So it's like, well, all right, it's fine.
Have it for a few more days.
Man, if we could just get Peacock for free for 30 days, Nikki, we could see all this WWE stuff we've been hanging on.
There's way too many streaming services. It's hard to feel like you're giving the right amount of time to each one to make it worth paying for. Even if it's free, I mean, most people don't always go with the free option, but that's the thing.
Well, I know that everyone has weathered the pandemic differently. Nikki and I have weathered it by just working a whole lot harder. And I know that's not, some people would like to, but haven't been able to.
Sure,
so
you might not have the
it.
ability for that.
But apparently WWE on Peacock and free Epics if you get yourself some Domino's.
What you got going on over there? A lot of free stuff.
Hey, that Domino's was good. I went with a thin crusted barbecue chicken pizza.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Listen, if you found a scheme that's working for you, you have to be careful, because if you're not, you're going to get greedy and you're going to get caught.
You get too comfortable and you think, I'll never get found out. And then eventually you do.
That's what happened to Trey Brown. He stole, this is crazy, over the period of about 2 weeks, he stole approximately $980,000 from the Kroger he worked at.
Oh, the guy with the grocery store. I never saw what he was doing.
So he was creating basically fake transactions and then returning them and then having the money from the return put on credit cards, which he thought would be, I believe they were like, store-bought credit cards. So I think he thought like they wouldn't be able to trace it back to him.
Oh, so like a Visa.
Right, like a Visa gift card or something.
Okay, but then the return would be put back on that.
Right.
Weird. So he had a thing.
Yeah. Now, it's...
Now, it didn't last long. It was like a week to 2 weeks, and then he got found out.
Here's what I think's funny, because this is what you just know happened. These transactions ranged from $75,000 to $87,000. And let me just rephrase it, like $75, no zeros. Mm-hmm. $80,000, many zeros.
Why would he try that when you realize that would draw attention?
He got greedy.
He did.
I'm telling you, he got away with 75. Then pretty soon you start adding zeros to it. The next thing you know, he bought a couple of clothes, he bought a couple of cars, some clothes, some guns, and some new shoes.
With all that money?
Yeah. Also, he totaled one of the cars he bought.
So he had this whole thing set up, but again, it did not last long. He was found out.
No, he got busted. So that's why every time I embezzle, I always try to embezzle small amounts in like over time. You can't. I mean, $1 million in 2 weeks, man, that's like 2 or 3 years worth of embezzling. Come on.
I know that you want it to be that quick, but you have to realize you got to take your time and just sit back.
Just like my COVID, you've got to be a long hauler.
Oh, no, that's what it's like.
So you just got to be patient. Every once in a while you pop up and do something, then you duck back down.
Remember, it's not going to be like, hey, here, I just made these millions of dollars in a few weeks and now I'm in this lavish lifestyle. It has to just be a little bit more to get you through, but it's just a consistent amount of smaller amounts of transactions. Then you can live a good life that way.
Yeah. How much money are they pulling in at the average grocery store?
Probably more than we think.
I guess, but like you thought you could get away with stealing $1 million? Like, hey, there aren't very many places that aren't going to notice $1 million.
Sure.
I mean, maybe 1,000. Sure, maybe, but who buys? Somebody somewhere, you're tripping. When you like have an $87,000 transaction at the grocery store,
someone's going to blink and notice that.
Someone's going to notice that.
I think so, but it took some time, and so now he's in trouble with this.
I don't know. Then again, like there are these people in my neighborhood, they have like 6 kids, so I don't know what they spend at the grocery store. Maybe, what do you think, like $40,000?
Each year or each week or each day?
Week,
each
probably.
Time you go?
Yeah.
It's a lot. So it was the cashier guy at the Kroger with the Visa gift cards who committed the crime.
Yeah, so good. Oh, no. He wasn't inside the store. He was at the fuel center.
Oh, he was? He was at the gas station?
See, he didn't think anybody was watching there.
He said, no one's going to pay attention to me out here. I'm fine.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Not too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
I love how we feel about money is all about context. So if we went somewhere and, you bought your lunch and they were like, for an extra $2, we can give you cheesy fries with
You're like,
whatever.
yes.
You'd be like, oh my gosh, are you serious?
And you might think, well, that's a good deal.
What a savings. Wow.
Well, don't put it in this context.
And then I just hear Nikki going, I just got the email about Netflix. It's going up $2. I thought it was just $1.
We talked about it last week, but I never got the email, so I don't think I was tuned in as much, personally with the increase that they're doing. And then I finally got it this morning before the show started, and that's when I noticed it was $2 for the increase. I thought we were still doing smaller increases to not make us mad. But not at $2.
Nikki, this is
Where else are we going from here?
$5.
Well, they can't do
$3.99.
Oh gosh, they're pushing it. They're absolutely pushing it.
You're right, they are.
But I'm not folding yet. I'm not calling it, but
not yet.
But it is the $2 was bothersome. Let's just say that. I don't think it was a very nice email either. It didn't have a lot of details. Like, we're sorry. We hate to do this to you again. Here's what we think you might enjoy that's coming up. Blah, 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 blah. Instead, it was just, here, have $2. Have a good day.
Thank you. With your $2, we're going to continue to make some of the most amazing content available on streaming services
And
anywhere.
they're not.
Did you know they're releasing one movie a week at least?
It's fine, but then $2. I'm just more worried for the future.
Yeah. Boy, there's not...
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's nothing on Netflix to watch.
I would not go as far to say that. Like, I'm still using it.
Are you?
Still, yeah. I mean,
See, you're still using.
I think that's why.
Nikki's still using. That's my takeaway from this conversation.
Well, I'm sorry that's what you're hearing.
It's
not using.
My dealer raised prices again. It's unbelievable. I swear.
Oh, I didn't really understand last week when we were talking about it because it hadn't,
It hit home today.
Now
is what
it
you're
hit
saying.
home today.
It hit home.
And I just got charged my last, $17 one, and then I was like, well, here we go. Here we go again. I just wish they wouldn't do that much. Like, what about like a quarter or 50 cents? Wouldn't that bring them enough?
But then they'd have to do it it'd be like a quarter this week and then a quarter 2 weeks from now. They'd rather just, rip that Band-Aid right off.
All the way to the $2.
And as you can see, doesn't matter. Aside from this little conversation we're having right now.
They don't care.
They don't care, and you're going to forget. You're just going to let that thing go.
I just know that at this point, the next price increase for Netflix will take me over $20.
Yep.
And a long time ago, when baby Nikki and Obi joined Netflix, we always said, no, we're not going to keep it if it goes over that.
Well,
now everything does.
I bring us back to laughing at people that were paying $15 a month for HBO because it sounded to me, $15 a month sounded like $1 million a month. It was like, man, Netflix is $8. Why would I ever pay that much? Now I'm paying $18.
Uh-huh. And it's going up.
Joke's on you. Me, I mean, like that was me talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
All right, Nikki, I could justify Netflix's $2 price increase if they could tell me they were getting Sky Sharks, which I don't think they are.
What's Sky Sharks?
What?
Because that feels like still, what was the network? Sci-Fi?
What is Sky Sharks?
Oh, my gosh.
So there you see it right there. Sky Sharks. There's a trailer that
Looks
is
like
shown.
a bloated great white.
Well, Nikki, here's what you got to understand about the Sky Sharks. These are Nazi Sky Sharks.
Oh, they're throwing everything in there.
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain to you. What it is that in the Arctic, there was a secret Nazi facility that ended up, like being frozen.
Yeah.
And somehow, and I'm not sure how, we unfreeze it. Probably global warming, because that way they can make it a message movie.
Way. You're learning.
Message movie, you're learning.
It will 100% be that way. Well, where do the great white sharks come in?
Well, the Nazis were growing these very large sharks that they were basically, you imagine like a Zeppelin, like a Hindenburg, but a shark. And it's like that. It's a flying shark that the Nazis are riding, and they have a bunch of weapons on them. And so the sky sharks are now attacking America, all these years later.
I hate if you're just joining us right at this moment. You're like, what's this about? It's a movie. Oh, that looks gross.
I mean, there's a zombie factor involved here.
Because the Nazis were dead and they're zombies?
Yeah, and they have sky sharks. So Nazi zombies on flying sharks.
So it's a video on demand?
Where are you at on that, Netflix?
Is it a video on demand, or where is it going to be at?
It says, I believe, February 3rd, we're going to be able to rent it.
Great.
So hopefully, maybe, on Apple TV or something, I'll just be able to...
It feels... No, I feel like Apple TV would be like, no, we're too good.
No. Well, I mean like from
iTunes?
the iTunes store. I don't mean like Apple's going to buy it. I mean that, I fire up my Apple TV, go to iTunes, rent
just to be
Sky
in one
Sharks.
of those meetings where they're like, all right, well, let's put together this movie. What do we need? Well, you need zombies and everything. Sharks are always still something, but they wanted to take it the next level. So then they're like, we'll put Nazis in it.
I think it's great. I think it just shows a lot of innovation in the space.
It's not.
What?
That seems like every other thing put together.
Right. That's what innovation is, Nikki.
So are they... No, it's not. So wait, are they attacking like us on normal Earth, or what do we look like in this movie?
Okay, well, just to be clear, I don't want us to play the audio, but let me show you some of the video here.
Oh,
there's some news footage. The man's looking in the sky. See the shark? The shark just attacked Big Ben. It's in London. It just attacked Big Ben.
Oh, it looks so dumb.
What are you talking about?
It looks so bad.
Wow, there's a shark flying out of the Nazi zombie thing.
Do you remember that toy a few years ago where it was like the balloon that was the great white shark? You could remote control around things, the little balloon. It looks like that. Yeah.
Here's what I love. You're not watching it with this guy right here. He is, they say, the greatest British sky marshal who won't let anything keep him from flying. It's the Candyman dude.
Okay, stop watching it. We do not need to watch this trailer anymore.
All right.
So that's something. And don't say there's not any good movies coming up, all right? Don't say that.
Nikki, just because theaters are closed or, whatever, doesn't mean people aren't putting out new movies.
I want someone to be, today when everybody's talking about Godzilla and King Kong, to be like, yeah, but have you seen the Sky Sharks?
But what about Sky Sharks?
That's what you've been watching over the weekend.
That sounds great to me.
And how much money do they put towards that?
It looks like probably somewhere between $50 and $60.
Per Sky Shark.
Yeah. So, it's not nothing.
Oh, boy.
But it's, it's not a lot.
It's a movie.
Technically, it is.
The Riot Radio U.
I want to say hey to Trevor and Ryan and several others who immediately called to say you're wrong. And just to be clear, that's okay.
They're perfectly fine to do that.
Truth be told, I didn't pay as close of attention to this as I originally would have because I don't have an Xbox anymore.
Sure.
And so here's what we found. All of the articles that I read, I'm not making this up. Now, granted, it was only 3 of them, but they said the price of Xbox Live was going from $10 to $11 a month. So that didn't seem to be that big of a deal. But then apparently they were taking away, like the cheapest way that you could get it was to buy $60 for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Not for a year.
Not for a year.
Yeah, but $60 for 6 months. And then you could buy that twice. And you could have Xbox Live Gold for $120.
But they were making this $60 price for 6 months to $120.
No. It would be $120 for the year.
For the whole year.
The only price break you could really get, if I understand this article correctly, which it's been weirdly hard to figure out, you could pay $60 for 6 months. That's where you could get a price break, but there was no yearly price break or whatever.
I see.
That's crazy to me. Xbox, I don't know. Here's part of the problem. I subscribe to PSN. Do you know how much I paid to subscribe to PSN? I paid $60 for 2 years.
Yeah, but because PlayStation's still booming, maybe they feel like with some places, they need to realize that the monthly part or instead of monthly, if you want to pay for the whole year, they got to keep that low enough to then want everybody to join and pay for all the games and all the other stuff. You got to save some of the money for the actual other purchases.
Right.
Like you just can't bleed us dry that way.
Well, their argument may have been, and I saw no argument, but I'm just saying that with Xbox Live and with PlayStation Network, you get, what do you call it? Like you get a free game or two every month. And so maybe it's like,
a good one.
Man, it doesn't.
So I guess you can't just say that and it doesn't count.
Though, let's see. I don't know what Xbox's free games are this month. PlayStation's are Shadow of the Tomb Raider and what's the other one? There's another one. I don't remember what it is. It was Maneater, the shark game, which I think was free on Xbox last month. So anyway, but that's the word. But the price is going back down, so it's basically going to be $60 a year. Yeah.
I see.
So best of luck out there, Xbox fans. I have been considering. I haven't pulled the trigger on it or anything, but I've thought about doing that Xbox buy to lease program or whatever, where you pay, it's $25 or $30 a month and you get a box plus their gold premium thing.
Oh, to kind of rent the console.
You basically rent to own. So it's like $30 a month and you do it for 2 years.
And then you own it at the end.
Arguably it's more expensive, but it also pays for any of the online expense too. So, I haven't done it, but it seems like an idea.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm surprised things like this don't happen more often. Did you see that over the weekend a wheel fell off a plane and landed between two houses?
It did? Was everybody okay or?
Yeah.
My gosh, it's scary.
Several pairs of underwear were changed, and now several people are in counseling because they're afraid the sky's attacking them. But than that, everyone is fine.
You just wouldn't expect it, but how often do things, besides people wondering about the blue ice, like how often that happens? But we're talking a wheel here.
You guys don't know what the blue ice is?
Look that up.
They say there's big chunks of blue ice that fall from the sky.
You're like, is it a Gatorade? No, it's not. Well, maybe it was at one point, but
it's from the bathroom.
It's from the bathroom that falls out. Yeah, so that can sometimes happens, but a wheel fell off?
A wheel fell off. Now, it wasn't like a 747. It was a smaller plane, a single-engine Pilatus PC-12.
The tire fell off.
The tire fell off, which, again, we've got these huge hunks of metal in the sky. It seems like more often stuff would just fall off of them, and maybe it does, but this one's news to me, man. They lost a tire. It's still amazing to me that nobody was hurt. Here's what they say. The tire was not very big, but its landing surprised people in the neighborhood near the airport.
Don't minimize. That would have made damage if it hit your house, so don't minimize it.
You drop anything
from that height,
and it's dangerous. And it's like, it's just a tire. Stop your whining.
It's not bad. Feels like they want to deflect from it or something. But it's not just the safety of the houses below. So they said everybody was okay there. But the plane was missing its wheels. So it caused sparks when it was landing.
But it did land safely.
They did say it landed safely, and everybody on board there was fine as well.
Yeah. What was that Donnie Darko where the engine falls off the 747 and he's in his bed?
Yeah.
And he makes sure that he's there so that the vortex time whatever doesn't happen with the rabbit.
Sure. I haven't watched that in a while. But again, this is just a small wheel.
This is just a little wheel.
Just a little wheel. It's not an engine.
It's no big deal.
Oh, gosh. Just to look outside and be like, what was that?
What was that?
And then wonder where the wheel came from. Because I would still wonder.
From the sky.
Well, I would think at first, from someone's car, because, you've seen video of, it bounces and it rolls down the road and it comes off, but this is not a car wheel. This is an airplane one.
I don't know how, it landed in a neighborhood near the airport, so it's not like they were at 10,000 feet and they dropped a wheel.
Oh, that's good at least. It was lower.
But still, you go outside and there's a wheel in, it's got to make a little bit of an impact crater, right?
So do you get someone from the airport? Do they come by? Do you get money, compensation, or what do you get?
I would want money and compensation, and I would be moving away from the airport.
You're a little too close.
It's like, listen, you got to get me out of here. I don't care. You guys have airplanes, sell one. Give me the money.
Give me the money for it, because I'm sure it caused damage to the ground. Someone would need to come to the house to look at that.
I'm sure they've got, what do you call it? Some kind of insurance for that. Right? Right?
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
What are you guys yelling about? Whether or not they should be allowed to serve Diet Coke at NFL games.